You may remember how in the last episode, I was having issues with my cherry tree farm here, with this module in particular, how it wasn't correctly pushing stuff down every time and would end up breaking the farm because of that. Well, in between episodes, I've done a fair bit of debugging and testing to figure out that this, in fact, is not broken and is actually working entirely correctly. Rather, it is this zero-tick piston pusher which is the problem. You see, it's not actually pushing things in zero-tick. As you can see, that's pretty slow there. And on single blocks, the top and bottom piston don't actually extend, which means that it's not actually running in zero-tick mode. As it turns out, the solution is to simply move these pistons to the other side. Now, I don't know why it was broken in the first place. Probably something to do with the update order. But now you will see that at least one of these pistons extends at all points, and the speed I can place blocks here is much faster. This should now mean that this farm will now work correctly. Hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 6. In the last episode, I built this quite complex and very cool cherry tree farm here, so if you do want to get the scoop on that, watch the last episode. Of course, we did already do some fixing in this episode, and I am happy to report that it has been working ever since, apart from one situation where there was a tree that had a whole lot of leaves missing out of it for some reason that didn't trip the sensor. I'm kind of confused on that one, so I'm going to count that as an outlier. In this episode, I am going to start putting various buildings on all these exposed farms here. So that's never how it's been intended to be, but that's just kind of how it has been for now, so yeah, I guess we'll start heading into a time-lapse of the tall one to start with, because that's the one I've so far done the minimal effort designing. That took significantly less long to build than I was expecting, given the sheer size of this building. It's probably due to how simple the design is, and I know it doesn't look the best, but I couldn't be bothered to actually design something that would be this tall, but have a good design, while simultaneously also having almost no like horizontal space to build the design, because I built this thing right up to the edge. But yeah, also while I was building this, I noticed the number of cows that exist in the carousel over here has significantly decreased. But I think what I'm probably going to do here is just to get this farm back into something that might be operatable. I'm going to extend the carousel like I was kind of planning on doing anyway, to go almost all the way around here. And then I'm gonna end up breeding up a lot more cows. Alright, then that's a much healthier cow population with a much longer area for them to roam around, which should mean that the next time I need to use this farm, assuming all the cows haven't died again, it should be actually more productive as well, as there's not only more cows, but more time for them to go around, which means they should hopefully be a lot more productive in making new cows. Now I'm going to start building the enclosure for the wheat farm here, so I guess we'll kick back into another time lapse. much different of a building. Actually has a little bit more detail within this small form factor, but hilariously enough, the windows do not at all actually align with the actual growing areas inside. In fact, it's actually the spaces that aren't windows that perfectly align with the growing sections. So that was a little bit unintentional, but kind of funny. Considering each of these floors is basically the same size. The top one doesn't align with anything. But yes, I've also done some roof decorations here. Got like some AC machine things on the roof. And of course a water tower. Oh, there was something else I had to do for this that I just didn't. Yeah, then of course like the antenna / don't fly into this planes. I guess if you're taller than, I guess, this building over here, which is almost the same height, you kind of need that. This is actually a rather tall building. Notably, though, there is nothing covering the storage system or redstone that goes in between these two buildings here, which kind of looks a little weird. So we're going to build up a little something that goes right there, right now. Alright, a pretty simple, no thrills building, just hiding right here in between these two very tall buildings here. Yeah, it's also just the case that all the windows that happen to be technically looking directly into these things would technically just be blocks, but hey, you kind of have to get that sort of thing when you're in a city. I mean, if you're going here, you can just see the wall through those windows, so that's pretty funny. Now to build the cover for the cherry tree farm here. And I did try to do something a little bit different with this one. It's gonna look very out of place though. Definitely something that is a bit different for me in terms of buildings. I did definitely try to use cherry wood, and I did actually use a fair amount of it in this building. This building is actually gigantic. It's like 5 to 6 story talls next to this building. This is the roof, which I thought would be a little bit more interesting than doing a flat roof. I gotta build the road along here. Actually, I'm probably going to, for that road, gonna make it come around here and turn in here towards the blast chamber itself. As, yeah, let me guess what's gonna happen next. We're gonna build something around the blast chamber. I'm not entirely sure what it's gonna be, though. Because I haven't designed anything for the blast chamber yet. And I don't want to just continue this building. I do want it to be, like, unique and interesting. Anyhow, something I have, though, noticed is that there's no entrances to any of these buildings, and with the exception of the wheat tower, I kind of actually need to be able to get inside them to do stuff, like use the farm that is built inside of them, like this farm, say. That's a creeper. Huh. Yeah, it's not that well lit up inside of here. But anyhow, more importantly, this farm is also currently not functional because, as you may recall, it kind of relies on skylight axes in order to function, and it currently does not have any of that. So I'm going to need to punch a bunch of holes in the ceiling so that this thing can work. And there we have it. The building that covers the blast chamber. I still haven't put literally any doors or anything on any of these buildings. Also, may not notice that back here where the train dips, I've also made this building go down beneath the ground, which is, I'll admit, an interesting decision. But anyhow, the focus is supposed to be on this building back here, which actually does look pretty interesting, especially compared to all the other buildings within shot here. While these are skyscrapers, obviously, this is supposed to be more of like an industrial style building here with a whole bunch, with, you know, the bricks and stuff, and gets to be a little bit wider as it goes down. And also the roof is slanted, which allowed the volume to be slightly smaller for, well, if you just cut, there's a creeper there, of course there is. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really supposed to be inside here anymore anyway. I do want to figure out where that spawned and stop that from happening, because I don't want mobs spawning in here, but I technically don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this building was able to be fitted in such a way where it just barely fits right on in. Oh, this is so tight. Oh yeah, I also I put the holes in the roof and put glass in them. The black stained glass basically looks transparent here, almost like there's nothing there. But yeah, anyhow, the farm should be working completely functionally now, with this natural light being let into the daylight sensors. Next, it's time to update the map in the Nether here to once again accurately reflect the overworld, and I might actually have to expand this area here with some more light gray glass. That'll be fun. Alright, I have updated the Nether now to reflect the current state of the overworld with the wheat tower here, the little wheat storage system, the cow tower, of course, the cherry farm, and blast chamber here, all nicely laid out. Of course, then I've also just preemptively put in the road that I'm planning on building around back, which I will probably end up doing in between episodes, because that is unfortunately the end of this episode. So I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Check out my game, which I may be making improvements to sometime soon, which is linked in the description, and I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 6. Bye!